Casting today in the warming tent at Zender's Snowfest 2026 going on through Sunday. Today the ABC Baking Championship gets underway in just a little bit, and we'll be telling you more about it as we go on throughout the hour. Later on in the hour, too, we're going to be talking to Lisa Ingram, the Saginaw Township Clerk, about the cost of special elections and more. But we're going to start the hour off talking about Mental Wellness Month, and we do that with Dr. Amy Milewski from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Dr. Milewski, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we hear about mental health and all of that, but it's an interesting name for the month, Mental Wellness Month. How big a problem is mental health in this country?
Mental health is a very significant issue in our country. We've just seen growing rates in need, particularly coming out of COVID, when we had, lots of people without social interaction and we were all kind of locked up for a period of time. And it really can contribute to your overall wellness is what we are finding. So when your mental health is not doing well, it can contribute to physical issues and even kind of chronic medical conditions over time if it's not treated properly.
If I catch a cold, I know it. I sniff, I cough, I have all the symptoms, and that's true of many other ailments. Not so true of mental health, is it?
Yeah, I mean, mental health can manifest in multiple different ways. I mean, sometimes people can just, have low energy. They can sometimes have physical symptoms. They can just have a general, what we call malaise, which is they're not feeling well. Some people can have, stomach issues. So it can be somewhat confusing or, trouble sleeping. And so we do recommend that you, if you are having symptoms, that you connect with your primary care provider who can help sort through what actually is going on.
But, you mentioned, it can manifest itself in lots of ways, and I may not know the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that's why we recommend you, connect with a trained professional if you're not feeling well, because they can help you work through and rule out some of the, physical causes if you're having physical symptoms, and then help identify. There are screening tools that we can utilize that our physicians are trained in and our nurse practitioners and PAs are trained in being able to ask the correct questions to be able to help sort through that. Sort through the challenges and identifying what is the source.
That's an interesting comment about the professional being able to ask the correct questions, because the person at home living with someone who may be suffering some mental problems doesn't know the right questions. How do you approach that person, and how do you deal with that and get them the help they need?
Yeah, so I think, asking somebody, some of the questions about how they're feeling can, and if you're having that feeling that it is related to their mental health, or if you're starting to see signs of somebody who is isolating or, acting in a manner that is concerning, I think sometimes people are afraid to approach the issue or ask the question. I've had this conversation with my adult and teenage children multiple times, asking them do you have any thoughts about wanting to harm yourself? People are sometimes afraid to even approach that. But the research has found that doesn't put the idea in people's head, and it's actually one of the best ways to approach it. But if you are sensing that, then, having that conversation about somebody about, hey, I'm concerned for your well-being, how can I help you? Or, maybe, identifying, that they can get help, that help is available. We do recommend, again, starting with your primary care physician, but there's lots of licensed mental health providers out there as well, if that's what the identified issue that can help you work through that.
So I know, because I've been taught throughout my life, that good eating keeps me healthy, eat the right kinds of foods, dress warmly and cold, all the stuff you do to avoid colds. You get vaccines for flus and all those other things. What do I do to stay mentally healthy?
It's a great question. There are lots of things you can do that help to boost your mental health, and that's because things that we do in our life around how we take care of our body can actually boost the neurochemicals that can contribute to helping you feel well and mentally well. So getting, regular sleep, 7 hours is what's generally recommended for most adults. Exercise, actually, it increases dopamine and all kinds of good chemicals in your brain. So, we recommend that you exercise at least 30 minutes a day, about 5 days a week. Your diet really does contribute. What your mom told you when you were growing up, eating your fruits and vegetables, getting enough protein in your diet, drinking lots of water. And then a big one that people oftentimes they know in the back of their head, but they don't always remember is watching how much alcohol you're using. Alcohol is a depressant. It can contribute to, mental health issues. It can interrupt your sleep. And so that can be something that you may want to avoid. And then finally, managing stress. We all have stress as part of our daily lives. We all deal with that differently, but finding what is relaxing for you, whether that's going for a walk, taking a bath, reading a book, building some margin and buffer time in your life to be able to take care of yourself and do the things that you enjoy, spending time with family, all of those things can really help to bolster your mental health.
I'm curious what role sleep plays in all of this.
Yeah, sleep has a big role, both physically and mentally. It's restorative. There's all kinds of things that happen in the body and in the brain during the times that we sleep. And, there's increasing evidence that most of us don't get enough sleep in this country. It's the one area we tend to short. And in that sleep contributes to both inflammation in the body, which can contribute to, later on to things, challenges with obesity, metabolic disorders, but then also your mental health. So making sure that you're getting that 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, we're finding is, just like we've been talking about more recently, that, sitting for long periods of time is really not good for our bodies. Not getting enough sleep is another big one that we're finding really has a lot of health impacts.
How much of what we need to take care of our mental health is covered by insurance?
So insurance covers mental health. That's part of some of the acts that were passed around even at the governmental level, that we provide not only medical benefits, but we provide behavioral health benefits. So you can visit a mental health provider just like you can visit a primary care provider as, first access. So you don't need a referral. You can go and schedule an appointment. So it is covered by insurance.
And the other question, because they're different occupations, do I need a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer, and it's very individualized based upon where you're at in the journey. And oftentimes, both can be beneficial. A psychiatrist is really available for diagnosis of mental health conditions, as well as then prescribing medication, whereas a psychologist, they're going to do more of the talk therapy and not do the prescribing. But oftentimes an approach can marry both. Some people are, taking a medication and doing talk therapy together. So you can have a need for both as well. But really, like I mentioned earlier, reaching out to your primary care provider, that can oftentimes be a really good first step to get you engaged into the system if you don't really know where to go. But either pathway can help. So.
Have we made any progress as a population in overcoming the stigmas associated to mental health?
Yeah, stigma has improved. It definitely does still exist. And I would say that we do see generational differences in that with our younger population, oftentimes being more willing to say that they need help or to embrace or share with others, that, mental health is as important as physical health and getting that help. So we have seen reductions in stigma, but there are still pockets of it, both generationally as well as those with certain populations where a stigma does still exist.
Dr. Milewski, is there a website people can get more information?
Yeah, healthiermichigan.org. It can provide you all sorts of information that we have available.
Well, Doctor, thanks for spending a little time with us this morning during Mental Wellness Month. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye now. Dr. Amy Milewski from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan on Mental Wellness Month. We're going to take a break. When we come back in the last half of this hour, we're going to talk to Saginaw Township Clerk Lisa Ingman. All of that coming up, and by the way, it's Lisa Ingram, and we will be back. We are broadcasting from Zender's Snowfest 2026 in the big warming tent. Everything gets underway today. The world-class double and single block snow sculpting championships, State of Michigan snow sculpting competition, high school snow sculpting competition, multi-block ice carving exhibition featuring Greg Butowski, the award-winning certified master sculptor, and the U.S. National Collegiate Ice Carving Competition, all going on today. And here in the warming tent, getting underway in just a few minutes, is the ABC Baking Competition. A little different this year. We've had in the past, it started out, it was all apples, and then it was all chocolate, and then it was pies and all kinds of different things. But this year, it's the ABC Baking Competition. A for Apple Delights, that's the first category. B for Brownie Bonanza, that's the second category. And C for Cupcake Extravaganza. And in the end, there will be a grand prize winner chosen from the winners of all three of those competitions. It's getting underway here in just a little bit. Halsey's Old Timers are on stage. They're going to provide the music this morning. It's going to be a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend here at Zender's Snowfest 2026, celebrating 35 years of winter fun for the whole family. We'll be back after these notes.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
at the warming tent, it's the ABC Baking Competition going on here at Zender's Snowfest. The Apple Delight competition is kicking off, as we said, and Brownie Bonanza is going to be the next competition. That'll be kicking off about 11:30, quarter to 12. And then after lunch, starting at 1, the Cupcake Extravaganza portion of the ABC Baking Competition will be held here at Zender Snowfest in the warming tent. And then after all of those individual categories are done, they're going to have final judging, and there will be a grand prize winner that will be selected out of the winners of the Apple Delight, the Brownie Bonanza, and the Cupcake Extravaganza. Now, if you would like to get a copy of some of these recipes, they do have cookbooks that will be available after the competition is complete, so you can kind of get an idea of who's competing and how they're doing with all of these individual contests. Zender's Snowfest going on. This is year number 35, and it goes through February the 1st. Well, it's been host to the top snow sculpting events in North America for the past 34 years. Visitors have enjoyed larger-than-life snow sculptures, beautifully detailed ice carvings each and every year. And in addition, Zender Snowfest is having entertainment for the entire family in the warming tent where we are. There is going to be a fireworks display that will happen this coming weekend. There's a petting zoo and children's activities as well. Kind of unusual to have the weather that we're having this year. And in past Snowfests, matter of fact, we'll cover it on the farm program a little bit later on. We are looking at, well, a year ago today, it was 41 degrees here in the Frankenmuth area. So kind of gives you an idea of what a change a year makes. In the past, they have had problems, obviously, with warm temperatures. Very rarely, though, have we seen cooler weather like this during Snowfest. And in the 35 years, they tell me you could count on one hand the number of Snowfests they had where it was cold and it stayed cold for the entire length of time. The world-class snow carving, which is taking place beginning today, as their teams out here right now are working throughout the day today on double and single block competitions in the parking lot here. The double block competition is sponsored by Dow, by the Birch Run Premium Outlets, Frankenmuth Brewery, and Apple Mountain. Single block competition sponsored by HAP, Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Children's snow sculpting is taking place over at River Place across the road. That's sponsored by Covenant Healthcare. State of Michigan snow sculpting beginning at 6 o'clock tonight in the Bavarian Inn Restaurant's parking lot. And, of course, that is sponsored by the Bavarian Inn. Now, the warming tent opened up just about a half an hour ago or so. And Newman Pools, Webster Gardner, thank goodness for them for providing all the heat. Miller Lite, High Noon Sun Sips, Gordon Food Service, and Ironfish Distillery are a part of the sponsorship of the warming tent. And obviously our ABC promotion is sponsored by the folks at Michigan Sugar, Pioneer Sugar, by Zender's Restaurant, by Star of the West, our folks that make the Nightingale flour, which is a part of the prize package for our winners, and of course we here at WSGW. Now, high school snow sculpting, that's going to be tomorrow. That'll start at 9 o'clock, sponsored by Northwood University. That is at the Frankenmuth River Place Shops. Also going on, the world-class snow carving continues, as we mentioned, on Wednesday. Today, it'll continue into Thursday. The State of Michigan snow sculpting teams continue tomorrow. That's at Bavarian Inn Restaurant's parking lot. There's going to be a lunch show at 12 noon on Thursday at Zender's main dining room. You can have chicken luncheon and then be entertained by the dueling pianos, which always is a wonderful show. $63 a person. If you do want to get and reserve a ticket, it might be a very good idea to do that. You can call Zender's at 989-652-0450. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with more.
Gotta go.
Now with the Saginaw Township Clerk, and she is Lisa Ingram. Lisa, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you are. So we have a special election coming up February 3rd. It's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't things, because for over a year, people of this region have been screaming about the fact they didn't have representation in the Senate, and now we have a chance, although it's pretty late. Who pays for all of this?
The taxpayers do.
That's always the answer, isn't it? Realistically.
Art, I want to let you know that I'm also here with the Deputy Clerk, Shelley Nelson.
Okay.
So we're both here. Okay.
So let's start with, we have a special election. It falls upon each of the voting districts, the townships, and what have you, to pay for it, or do you get reimbursed for it?
It falls on all the different jurisdictions to pay for it. So we're not going to get reimbursed.
You don't get reimbursed for special elections, even when they're statewide or for state office. And how typically, we talk about Saginaw Township, but typically, how much does it cost?
Art, I hate to interrupt, but this is a district election. It's not statewide.
Well, but
all of Saginaw County either. It's part of Saginaw County. Yeah.
Right. What I meant was it's a state office is what I should have said.
Yeah. Yes.
And So how many people does it take when you have to do an election? How many people does it take for you to put on a special election like this?
Well, we have 13 precincts with 8 to 10 election inspectors, and we have two AV counting boards, again, with 8 to 10 election inspectors.
Are they paid positions or volunteer positions?
No, there's paid.
They are paid positions. So what does it cost them? What will it cost Saginaw Township, for example, to hold this special election?
It's going to cost us over $100,000. And what people don't realize, there's a whole lot involved in elections. There's postage, there's supplies, there's the ballots, there's programming for the ballots, paying the inspectors, there's also we have to pay the county for the 9 days of early voting, too, and publishing. So there's a whole lot involved in elections.
And how has the early voting impacted the election process in the township?
Well, at this moment in time, I think the weather might have something to do with it. So far, we've only received over 30 ballots from the early voting center, but from the absentee ballots, we've received over almost 4,000 absentee ballots back out of the 8,000 that we sent out. We've almost, yeah.
Now, is that normal for an election cycle?
More or less. It's a little low.
And I have to ask, I have never been a big fan of early elections, and I don't want to get into a political discussion because that's not your jobs. But, I mean, has this early voting had some impact?
Well, it definitely had impact in the November 24 election. There was significant impact there, significant participation in that. So,
yeah. So let's talk about a normal election cycle. In a normal election cycle, let's say the November election, are you reimbursed for the election?
You mean the statewide one?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. The one, because there'll be an August primary for the statewide, and then there'll be the November general for the statewide, and we'll be reimbursed from the state for that. Yes.
100% or not?
100%. Yes.
Oh, you do. All right. Well, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing at all. So let me take a quick break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about elections with our guests from Saginaw Township as we broadcast today from, of course, Zender's Snowfest here in Frankenmuth.
Rocket Grab.
Back with you here at Zender Snowfest 2026, sitting in the warming tent, and we're talking to folks from Saginaw Township about the upcoming special election on February 3rd. So, Lisa, I have to ask, because this has been a year now since we haven't had representation, were you able to budget for this?
We had to do an amended budget.
And how, when you say an amended budget, where do you get the money from? I mean, it's got to come from someplace.
Basically, the township's contingency fund. So there's so much that they have in a fund just in case anything happens. And so when you have a special election that wasn't budgeted for, since we didn't know about it, then those funds would have to come from the contingency fund to be able to take care of that.
And, you obviously have to tap that contingency fund, and it's all on the taxpayer. How about what other efforts does it take to do a special election?
What do you mean?
Well, when we have a special election, you have to open up your voting places. You have to have staff. You have to do all of that, don't you?
Yes, we have to do everything. Yes, just like a general election.
And are all your voting precincts open?
Yes,
will
all
they
the
be?
Precincts will be open on Election Day. Yeah.
The early voting is taking place down by the courthouse, right?
Yes, yes, it is.
That's the only site.
Yes, 618 Cass Street. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's hope this election goes smoothly, and of course, is the May election considered a special election, or is that a regular election?
That's a special election too, a special general election. Yeah.
So we have a special primary, and then we have a special general, all for this one seat.
Yes, sir.
That the taxpayers will have to pay for because the state does not.
And the state won't pay for it, so the taxpayers will. Well, listen, both of you, thanks for spending a little time talking about it. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you, Art. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. All right, so there you go, folks. I mean, things don't come for free. Special elections cost money, and the taxpayers are on the hook for it. Who else? Who else is there, really, when you think about it? All right, let's take a little bit of a pause, and then we will be back to tell you more about what's happening here at Snowfest.
For 60 years, West...
A little bit because they've been a little bit noisy, just a touch. But hopefully they'll get that all fixed, and they'll be performing on stage throughout the morning and afternoon. The contest, the cooking contest, goes until about 3 o'clock is when we finally introduce the grand prize winner. And there are 3 baking categories this year in the ABC book competition. The Apple Delights comes up first. That's going to start here in a little bit. Brownie, they're working on it, folks, promise. Brownie Bonanza and the Cupcake Extravaganza. Those are the 3 categories that will be judged today. There are 3 winners in each category. And then from the top 2 winners in each category comes the grand prize winner. And that will be the last thing that we announce this afternoon about 3 o'clock. Also inside the tent, there's food in here. The Halsey Old Timers on the stage will be performing throughout the morning and afternoon. And, of course, the carving is going on outside. And they will be busy because this is the first day. So this is their first opportunity to get to the blocks and all the snow and start their designs. It's always fun to watch these folks because there's some very, very talented people that do these sculptings. And you look at some of these finished products and you say, wow, that's amazing. And we really appreciate the efforts. And they come from all over the place. I mean, they're not just from around here. They're from all over the Midwest, all over the country. Sometimes they even have world teams in the competition. All happens right here in Frankenmuth. And again, it goes on through Sunday. And, the weather, it's nippy out, but it's not really, there's not much wind, so it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And it's good for the sculptors. They'll have good snow to work with. That is for fun. That is for sure. World-class double and single block snow sculpting championships go on. The State of Michigan Snow Sculpting Competition, High School Snow Sculpting Competition, Multi-Block Ice Carving Exhibition featuring Greg Butowski. He's the award-winning certified master sculptor. And the U.S. National Collegiate Ice Carving Competition goes on today. It's all happening here in Frankenmuth, and throughout the weekend, there is a lot happening. It all starts today and continues.